All right, everybody out there in the Craft Chest Nation, it's Craft Chest here, hot off the presses and straight from Gamescom. We have some more Archeage Unchained news, and boy, that was quick, especially coming from me. This is coming from Alexander Leitsch, and he did an interview with the Vice President himself, Mervin Kwai III. And what this is going to be covering is the business model for Archeage Unchained versus Archeage Legacy. And he's going to be covering the season passes, covering the housing, and upcoming patch releases time frame. So stay tuned for that. Now, before I go any farther with this video, the main reason why I wanted to get this out there to everybody is because watching a lot of videos out there, hanging out in the Discord server, you know, participating in with conversations, reading different things, and then finding out about this interview, and then actually reading this interview, this brings so much positivity to the light of Archeage Unchained that I am super excited for this game to come out for so many reasons. Mainly because it's what we have begged for in MMOs for years. And anybody that watches me over on Twitch, anybody that has paid attention whenever we get into discussions of games, I have always said, if people would have a business model like Grinding Gear Games does and go more towards the skin to win versus the pay to win model, they would be just as successful. And I don't know if this guy, you know, got the message from multiple peoples, whether they were creeping, not that I have anything to do with it, but thank the gaming gods that somebody actually stepped up and said, you know what, these companies are doing it, why can't we do it? Now let's get into this interview and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so down here, Game Ago planned several season passes simultaneously with Archeage Unchained. What are the differences between the Legacy servers and Unchained? Mervin, we're just going to call you Mervin for the lack of, you know, time frame, which I could have already said it, told us in the conversation that there will be no differences between the two games. You start in Unchained at 0. Nothing can be transferred from the other servers. Even if everyone starts from the beginning, we do not hold back any content. Unchained will directly contain all territories and all content of the previous Archeage. So basically what they're saying is they're going to have a standalone client sitting over here for Legacy. They're going to have a standalone client sitting over here for Unchained. And I applaud you for that. That's awesome, because there will be no cross-platform or exploits or anything going on, and I love it. The only difference between the version is the business model. The new season pass is focused primarily to Unchained, and then it goes into how is the season pass structured. In Archeage Unchained, there will be 2 season passes. The first is a standard version and free, and in addition, there will be a premium pass that includes other rewards. However, this will cost real money. Both passes will give a new currency that can be exchanged for cosmetic rewards and titles. In addition, the free pass should also contain reward potions, which brings little benefit in the game. Now, those potions, well, you know, didn't really elaborate on it. Will they be labor pots? Will they be health pots? We don't know. But if that's all it is, hey, XP pots? I don't know. Is that a thing? XP pots? Who cares? XP is XP, man. Hey, you get XP any way you can in any MMO. I don't consider any of that any type of way, shape, form, or fashion, especially if you're paying premium as pay to win. XP is XP. Gives you no advantage whatsoever. You still got to do the grinding. However, these advantages should not exist in the premium pass. Now, before I go any farther, if you notice a little bit of, you know, what does that mean? What does this mean? This is a direct translation from German to English, all right? So some of these sentences may sound kind of funky, all right? I am reading them directly, even though sometimes I screw up a sentence. Just keep that in mind. Currently, the developers plan that multiple passes can run simultaneously. Now, this is where it gets kind of funky, and I'm actually going to have to step back and let my brain filter through and decipher exactly what they mean. Once again, the link will be down here. Go down and do it yourself if you want a 100% understanding about what they mean, or comment down here on this guy's interview. All right, currently the developers are planning multiple passes that can run simultaneously. So if you have completed Pass 1 after 1 month, you can start immediately with Pass 2. If you need 2 months for it, then catch up with Pass 2. I don't know what that means, but let's read on. A pass goes over 3 months. Okay, so the pass goes over 3 months. During this time, you will have daily missions like defeating monsters or participating in PvP. Each completed task gives you XP, with the pass totaling level 55. After that, you've played through. So what they're saying is, by the time you complete your battle pass, I'm going to call it that, it's called Arc Pass, that's exactly what happens. You play through, you get XP, etc., and within that 3-month period of time, which you can probably do it way quicker, you will hit level 55, max level in the game, and you're ready to go do whatever it is that you decide that you want to do as a job, warrior, whatever, explorer, trader, whatever, going out there. How expensive is the premium pass? A premium pass for Archeage Unchained should cost $10. What awaits us in the shop of Archeage Unchained? Also, the shop of buy-to-play game is to get along completely without game advantages. Mervin Kwai repeatedly stressed all content should be purely cosmetic, so all players have the same opportunities. That right there in itself, I applaud you, sir. All right. Now, the next part is for these people right here, which I know you're not going to like it. So y'all can just keep on singing your song. Y'all know who we're talking about. All right. We're going to be going over the housing next. But before we do, let's briefly talk about what the Arc Pass is. Let's put this in perspective of what everybody will understand who's played Fortnite, for example. The Fortnite Battle Pass gives you nothing more than pickaxes, emotes, dances, in-game skins, little perks like that. And that seems to be the business model that they're going towards with the Arc Pass. And I think that's awesome. All right, I've covered briefly in the beginning of this how I feel about Skin to Win, and I think it's an amazing thing that game companies finally get that, hey, people want to be little cute. I wouldn't even say Care Bears or Cute Bears. I forget what the actual ooh-woo or whatever it is that people do. But a lot of people like to get into that type of thing of dressing up their characters and mixing and matching and making their own and crafting it and earning it in different ways. And Skin to Win, you would be mighty surprised at how many people you will grab that are brand new and older players that have come back that were maybe not into it at the time because they were in the closet, but they might come on out that closet if you keep this model 100% the way you're describing it. All right, I'm going to leave that at that. Now, for the houses, this is where it starts. There's enough space for the players. Houses. How's the housing in Archeage Unchained? In the free-to-play version of Archeage, you still need to be having a rolling subscription, aka the Apex, to claim land. In Unchained, every single player can build. All right, so you don't need Apex, all right? You don't need, I don't know if you need tax certificates because I kind of covered that a little later in this. Probably still do need them, but you can't buy them out the marketplace. That much I do know because I've heard them talk about that in Discord, both the CMs and a couple of devs that were in there earlier. All right, in Unchained, every single player can build. In our comments on Unchained, players feared there might be a shortage of space, and players can then secure plots of land and sell them later to new entrants. What do the developers think about it? Mervin Kwai is not worried about that at all. For one thing, there are many more building sites for you to own a home compared to the release version, aka the legacy servers. The latest harem, however you pronounce that, update also included new properties. That big chunk of land that they just opened up has properties. On the other hand, the tax certificates are not offered in the marketplace of Archeage Unchained. The maintenance of several houses becomes more difficult, also because of the required operating points. Now, what that 100%, I don't know what exactly that means right there, because my memory's kind of failing me on what the operating points are. Maybe it's the labor points for the tax certificates to pay for that particular plot of land. You know how you can walk up to a scarecrow and make their certificates? Maybe that's what it's talking about. All right, I think that's what it means, so that's what we're going to go with. Not 100%, but that's what I'm kind of thinking that means. Moving on. In addition, the hurdle to own more accounts to be higher by the buy-to-play. Wait, what? What kind of translation is that? In addition, the hurdle to own more accounts to be higher by the buy-to-play. Nevertheless, the developers will keep the problem in view. Not really sure what that means. But he does say this in a sub-quote, "We are not naive in this regard, but we believe that there is enough seats for all due to the 3 points mentioned above." Does kind of make sense, but that right there, before we move on, I do want to go over something that's been a huge question of everybody as far as housing is concerned. Is it instance-based? Do you still have to go get the land? Do you still have to do the quest? The answer to this is, and from what I gather now, see, I thought it was going instance-based, but now I'm not so sure about that. I believe from that comment that he set up above, where he says there's more than enough land to acquire, basically, and we have new areas also, that's telling me it is not going to be instance-based. You still have to do the playthrough. You still have to go get your scarecrow, etc., 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 for progression on your housing. All right, pick what area you're going to, whether it's, Mount Mauna Kea or whatever we got over there, Rockhala, that's what I'm trying to think of, or if you're over in the Sol Rins Peninsula or Two Crown, you still got to do all of the progression quests to get the land that you want. So that right there is going to be kind of interesting for people to have, because it's going to happen. Somebody's going to have a ring of computers going around, unless they do the IP, single IP, which that's something they really haven't made clear, which I know in this interview he says it's harder for multiple accounts to be on there because you got to buy them, and then the labor points, the way they're restructuring all the in-game as far as Apex and labor is concerned. So kind of thinking that you can have multiple accounts and multiple PCs, which if that's the case, I'll just have my main and I'll have my backup like I always do, and just have one of them a healer and the other one be that, what they call that, pocket healers, I think is what it is. So let's move on. So I believe, in my opinion, that it's not going to be instance-based housing. All right. Legacy players remain loyal to their servers. Is Archeage stealing his own players with two different versions? Another concern of players was that the two separate servers split the community. Legacy Unchained. No, I don't think it will. After all, both should always be exactly on the same level. Mervin also sees this relaxed. He's like, bro, chill out. We got this. We have already brought new servers more often. Players like to try them out, but most of them return to their home server after 2 or 3 months. For this, they have often invested too much time. It's that time sink people often talk about. They spend too much time in their environment, so they go back to their home servers. So you're either going to play Legacy or you're either going to play Unchained. There ain't going to be no flip-flopping and but if you like this one better than this one and you don't want to have 75 accounts, multi-boxing a virtual machine in, come join us over on Unchained. We'll enjoy having you over there as a real-life player. All right, Unchained developers, let's see this as more of a chance for newcomers and people who reject the old subscriber model. The previous target group is likely to remain on the legacy servers or old Archeage. When will Archeage appear? Archeage Unchained will soon release new information about the cost and date of publication. So the cost isn't 100%. because remember, it said it should be $10. So, you know, I'm thinking from what I've seen, now this is something that was leaked in Discord. Whether this is 100%, purely speculation, but it did come straight from a CM. All right, one of the community managers that was unnamed. We're going to call it the unnamed community manager. Dropped in Discord, which was quickly taken away, but somebody snipped it or screenshotted it or something and shared it. That said that the base game, and this is speculative, is going to cost $20, and the premium service is going to cost $10. So there you go, $30 cost if you want to get in 100%, you know, primo, and that's it. All right, now moving on. But in autumn, the next major update for Archeage is planned. This is true for both legacy servers and Unchained. Excuse me. What exactly is included in the patch, we will tell you later this week. Now here it is midnight, which means it's Wednesday morning for me. It's already Wednesday for everybody else. I don't know how long Gamescom is going on. Is that a whole week thing or whatever? You guys will have to tell me. But sometime between Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we should get information about a definitive release date. Now, there has been a lot of speculation about this. And matter of fact, just to let everybody know, that's the end of the interview. So if you hang out for the rest of the time, it's just going to be me speculating and going over things that I have read in Discord, from both the CMs, the community managers, and from people that have read different articles and seen different things like this interview right here. And one of the theories, or one of the speculations is that September the 13th or the 15th is the 5th year anniversary of Archeage, the actual release date of it, and that could be a possible date. Now, actual autumn is on, let's see, September the 23rd is the first day of autumn. So that would be a good one. So either the week prior or the week after, you know, we're going to be looking at mid to late September as a possible date of release for both the Unchained version and the 6.0 huge update that they're doing in the game. Because also listening and reading some of the game mechanics, the skill updates, the land updates that are coming, and so much more that we haven't even covered, and I'm not going to cover because this video is primarily for this interview, just to get the information out there. Once again, down in the description, I will put a link to this interview for you to go back over yourselves. And if you're this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Give a thumbs up, give a subscription if you haven't, because you guys know whenever it's something like this, we're Johnny on the spot, reading it directly from the page and not going off the reservation like a lot of people out there do, and just and singing like this. We don't need any of this. We don't need any of this. Come on. There it is. None of that, none of that. We need positivity. We need hype. We need Archeage Unchained. And I'm going to leave it there as a matter of fact. Wait until the next video, because I'm going to put together a whole lot more information about this, because we're going to jump off into some Archeage Unchained. It's a craft of the mind, everybody. Go out there and have some fun. Woo! Woo!